I gotta talk about this because I've been seeing this forever, day one. And this is the type of toxic psychology that women have, the type of just lies that they use. Um, Instead of saying, hey, I've been out riding the cock carousel, I've been through a bunch of bad emotional relationships, I've been dumped, I've been cheated on, I cheated on guys, I dumped guys. Instead of just saying that, they say I'm broken. They use this verbiage that is easily, you could see through it. If you, well, I shouldn't say easy, because I think that it's gotten a lot of people duped, and it's something that I've always just like looked at and laughed at, and in a way never understood, because it's like, how can you not see through that? But I guess maybe a lot of people don't see through it. So it's like, just look at this meme. Okay, let's just break this down and get into this. Shout out to the boyfriends who love their girlfriends unconditionally while she's still learning to love herself. Y'all are appreciated and rare. They have this narrative, this running narrative that, like, oh, she's damaged, she's broken, oh, she can never find the right guy. Like, this is the narrative that is being pushed, when in reality, she's running through men like nobody's business, you know? She's running through men like whatever, right? Got a new boyfriend every month. Got a new guy even every 6 months, right? Let's say she had a new boyfriend every 6 months. It's 2 guys a year. In 5 years, it's 10 guys. Not terrible, but in between those guys, she went out and had some fun, because this is what girls do when they break up with guys. They go out on the weekends and they have fun. So she went out, had her fun, slept with the guy at the bar, still not over her ex-boyfriend, so she goes out and has fun and sleeps with the guy at the club. Still not over an ex-boyfriend, so she goes out and sleeps with the guy at the concert, right? This is how women get over guys, as they jump onto the next dick, and it works, but eventually you're going to rack up a lay count. Eventually, yeah, that 10 guys in 5 years that you dated for 6 months each really turns into 70 guys, because in between each one of those 10 guys, you might have slept with 10 guys, right? So in between those 10 guys, you slept with 10 guys, at the end of the day, your body count is what, 100? Right? And this is the truth that they don't tell you. This is what they sweep under the rug. This is what they hide when they got this broken narrative. Oh, I'm so hurt and I'm broken and I just need somebody to love me unconditionally. That's code word for, I got a horrible past. I've got all kinds of baggage. I've slept with dozens and hundreds of guys, and now I need somebody to look past all that and quote unquote unconditionally love me. Probably not even ask. Believe me when I lie to him and say my lay count is less than 5, probably. If the guy even asks now. Women are screening out guys who ask the lay count, right? That's none of your business, and woo woo woo. And they really think that this is going to work for them, when in reality, quality men are walking away and saying, hey, you know what? No, I'm not. First of all, you don't have a good character, right? First of all, you're not even normal. You're damaged. You're toxic. And if the miracle happens that you do not have kids, you got 40 or 50 other problems besides the kids, right, to take up your time. And now you want me to come in and like be your savior and like just adopt all of those problems and just love you unconditionally while overlooking your baggage. It's insane. And it's like, yeah, that's technically the definition of what love is, but these same women will turn around and be like, oh, I can't have a guy if he doesn't make 6 figures. I can't have a guy if he's not over 6 feet tall. He doesn't have a 6-pack abs, and he doesn't drive a $60,000 car. Like, these same women, like, they keep their standards, yet when it comes to men's standards, oh, men can't have standards because that's toxic. right? Oh, and then they push this narrative. They push this like fairy tale storyline out there so that guys can read the memes and be like, oh, I'm gonna be that kind of guy. I'm gonna be the kind of guy she can lean on, and I'm gonna be the shoulder she can cry. I'm gonna dry up her tears, and I'm gonna prove to her that I'm better than all the other guys, and I love her. You know, those other guys were just jerks who wanted to use her. It's like, this is the narrative, and they want guys to pick this up. They want guys to believe this and buy into it so that they can, what? Dodge accountability. It's what they're always trying to do. Blame shift. Oh, it's men's fault the reason why I'm a hoe. It's men's fault the reason why I've slept with 200 dudes. It's men's fault. They tricked me. They pretended that they were better than the other guys. It's like, yeah, I'm sure they did, right? Like, no one is forcing you to, you know, live that type of lifestyle. You chose to live that type of lifestyle, and deep down you know that you're wrong, probably, maybe, I don't even know. Probably a lot of them just are so toxic that they don't even think twice, because there's nobody out there raising these people, these women with morals. Nobody's out there. Their parents have all failed them, or else they wouldn't be in that type of situation in the first place. If you're past 25 and you're a female, your parents have failed you. If you're single, you're a single woman past 25, your parents have failed you. And I would say for you know, for a man too, men shouldn't be single past 25, but it's a whole different ballgame. Like, men are trying to find a quality woman, and we can't. Women have this narrative that, like, oh, all guys are out there just trying to hook up. All guys, all they ever want is sex. Like, first of all, no, that's just not true, first of all. Second of all, that's just some shit you made up, again, to blame shift. And if you believe it, it's because you're, you know, believing lies. So this is not true. This is a great explanation here. It says, sounds like a desperate man with no options. Women out here sleeping around for 15 years and act like they're broken when they're just getting karma for all the dirt that they did. That's 100% true, man. Is it really, are you really broken, or is it just karma? Right? Are you really broken, or is it just karma that's coming back to get you? You know? And it's like, I'm a Christian. I'm all for forgiveness and, you know, repentance and all that kind of stuff. I believe that there's great validity to repentance if you're repenting to God and you're really serious about changing your life. But I don't think that's what this is. I don't think this is repentance. I think that they're really just looking for an excuse. They're looking for a exit plan, and that's their plan. Their plan is to just lie and blame and pretend that they're this hurt little butterfly, when in reality they're a tramp. They're running around out there. So that's the truth. That you know, yeah, it's probably some karma. You're probably getting back some karma. Oh, really? You went out and slept with 50 guys and it didn't fulfill you emotionally? Wow, that's surprising. Oh, you went out and slept with 50 guys and you couldn't get the type of intimacy that you wanted from them? Oh, wow, that's just heartbreaking. Oh, you went out and slept with 50 guys and the type of guys, you know, you chose were toxic because that's what you were attracted to, and they didn't want to settle down with you. Wow, you're just such a victim. You know, it's like Cry Me a River. Like, we see past that. Guys who really pay attention to what these women are doing, who really pay attention to their behavior, their actual behavior in real life, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up to what they're saying here. Loyal relationships. She's got standards. Tarot intuitive. Oh boy. Yeah, tarot cards. Freaking what's that called? Astrology. Anybody who's into that is immoral. You know, I've never met a girl who was immoral, who wasn't into astrology. Every girl I've ever met that's very immoral, maybe one I could think of, but I'd say 9 out of 10 girls that I've met who were like loose and promiscuous, all into astrology, right? And tarot and all this kind of stuff. You're playing with demons is what's going on with that. You're messing around with the stuff, the other side. You're messing around with the metaphysical, and that's not how God and the good angels, the heavenly righteous angels, that's not how they communicate with humans. They don't communicate with humans through tarot or through astrology. No, they do it in a different way, through the Bible and prayer. So the only ones you're communicating with, the only thing that you're communicating with through your tarot card or through your astrology, even though these girls, they don't realize that they're contacting demons when they study astrology, but the only thing you guys are contacting is evil spirits. That's the reality of these things. And yeah, I'm not surprised that she's got standards tarot intuitive is the one who posted this meme. But shout out to the boyfriends who love their girlfriends unconditionally while she's still learning to love herself. Yeah, she probably has low self-esteem because she realizes that like she's getting used by men and men don't respect her because she's giving up sex. And there's this fabrication in modern feminism which says, oh, you can go sleep around and feel fulfilled. You can go sleep around and self-actualize and be a independent woman, and that's all part of it. It's this lie of Satan, right, to really just get them caught up in these wrong things. Yeah, you're gonna have low self-esteem if you let random men use you because you bought into the feminist lie that there's no problem with that, right? How many potential families have been ruined because modern feminism has encouraged young women to go be promiscuous? I saw a meme the other day where this woman was talking about how, women don't need men anymore. We can go out and be strong and independent and still hold down a career and still have a family and all this shit. And I'm just like, yeah, right. Well, first of all, even if you do all that, like, let's say you make it, you're still making it without a man. It's like you hate men so much that you would literally put more stress on yourself, insane amounts of stress, because being a parent is stressful. Not only that, being a single mom who works, a lot of these young women are out here bragging about that. First of all, you got no time. You barely got enough time to make a post on Facebook. Second of all, you're stressed out, you're tired, right? I guarantee it, and I guarantee in the back of these girls' minds, they're all thinking, I need a man. And this is why there's so many single moms out there on dating websites, because they need a man. And what are they asking for? I need a real man, a man who provides, a man with money. Because in reality, when you're out there trying hard, it's hard to raise kids, and it costs money. And that's the reality of life. And that's where men come in. That's where women need men. And it's kind of a catch-22 because it's something that I've always hated, where women only look to men for our finances, but that's a whole nother story. But the reality is you need a father, you need a husband, you need a man to help you, and all this bullshit about we don't need no man. And then yet the real truth of the matter is there's women out here who are emotionally damaged because they were taught that they don't need no man and they could do anything a man could do, and they can go have sex whenever they want. And the reality is that it's best to have sex when you're married. It's best to get into a marriage, or it's best to get into a sexual relationship when you love somebody, when you genuinely love somebody. And if you put the cart before the horse, if you put sex before a quality relationship, then everything gets messed up. Everything gets complicated. And this is what these young women don't understand. No one's telling them this. They're going out and they're sleeping with the guys on the first date. First of all, I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 of the guys that you sleep with on the first date are going to look down on you for sleeping with them on the first date. One of the worst relationships I ever had in my life was a woman that I slept with on the first date. And I made my mistakes. I'm a Christian. I shouldn't be fornicating. That was a mistake on my part that I made when I was younger. And I learned the lesson, and I got all kinds of, I don't know if you say karma, but I got all kinds of bad pushback from that, really bad relationship, because it was a sex-based relationship. We had sex at the beginning of our relationship, and the thing we had in common was sex. And it was like, the reason why that was the focal point of our relationship was because we didn't take the time to get to know each other. And if we did get to take the time to get to know each other, we probably would have been like, I don't have anything in common with this person. I don't want to be intimate with this person because this, but the sex was good. So it's like that totally clouded up the rest of it. And then it's like, at a certain point, you're just like, well, who is this person that I keep sleeping with? And it's like, this is what these girls are experiencing, because it's very easy at the click of a button to just go hook up with somebody. And this is how modern dating is done. You hook up on the first date. You have sex on the first date if you're really into somebody. There's no waiting. There's no courting period. There's no propriety. There's no ethics anymore. There's no social stigma, pressure to get married first. That's all gone. It's all out the window. You're jumping to a sexual experience right away, and this is what these girls are doing. And then they're wondering, why do I have low self-esteem? Because you don't respect yourself, because you're letting yourself get used. And if you like it, you like it, but a lot of times these girls turn around, they claim they like it, they claim they're, and yet they're super toxic. They turn around and they're broken, and they're toxic, and they're jaded, and their emotions are not stable, and they're choosing men out of like survival instinct, like, oh, he's got a good job, I gotta hang on to this guy, and like, as opposed to like, oh, I really love this guy, I have things in common with him, we really get along. And you don't necessarily have to have things in common to love somebody, but let's just say you do, and I have this great thing in common, I really get along with this guy, everything's going great, and we have all this, and it's like, but when you just put the sex first, that doesn't happen, and then you're like, the only thing you have in common is the sex. So that's what happens. You get broken because you don't have a deep relationship with these guys. It's not hard to understand. It's just no one's teaching them this, and then they go through, because they have the ability to do this. They got free reign to just jump on any dick they want, and it's like, girls get horny too. Girls are hornier than guys. Girls want sex as much as guys. The difference is that guys do not have much standards in order to get in bed with a woman. A woman has extreme standards in order to get in bed with a man. It's called hypergamy. So anyway, women are choosing the highest quality man that they can get, but a lot of times they themselves are damaged. They don't know what quality is, so they chase these bad boys, or they chase this or that. And a lot of times these women themselves are not trying to settle down. They say they are, but they really aren't. And that's another lie that women perpetuate, is saying, I'm ready to settle down, and in reality they're still playing the field, saying I'm ready to settle down on the dating site, and when it comes to reality, they're jumping into bed with guys on the first day. Oh, I'm looking for a real man. Woo woo woo. I've seen girls with the same profile on certain dating sites for years. I keep seeing the same girl, and she's got the same profile, and it says she's active. It's got that little button that says she's currently online. And what does it say on her profile? It says, oh, I'm looking for a real man, a guy who pays bills, and woo woo woo, and all this, that, at the bottom of the profile, in all caps, what's it say? No hookups, not looking for free sex, not looking for easy sex. And what does that mean? That means I'm trying to settle down. What does that mean? To me, it's a red flag that says, oh yeah, I went out and ran through the cock carousel. Now I'm done with that. Now I got my kid, or I got my STD, or whatever reason she stopped riding the cock carousel. I got that as my burden that I gotta bear, and now I'm ready for the guy with the money, right? That's what that says. But in reality, they're still sleeping around, because women are lovers of sex just like men are lovers of sex. Again, the difference is that women are hypergamous, so they're not just sleeping with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. They're sleeping with the top tier guys. So what does that mean? It means the top tier guys are banging all the women. Okay, if you're not banging the women, then you're not a top tier guy. It's just that simple. It really is that simple. That's really the reality of it. There's no nuance. It's not complicated. There's no gray area. The top tier guys are banging constantly all the women. All the women. The top 5 to 10% of guys are having sex with 90% of the women. The other ones are married or too ugly or whatever. But all those women out there who are single, who don't have a ring on their finger, even ones who do have a ring on their finger are cheating, but all those women out there who are single, don't have a ring on their finger, acting like it's time for a real man, they're getting banged by Chad. Right now, they're getting banged by Chad. There is not a woman out there, unless she's a devout, consecrated Christian, there's not a woman out there who is celibate, who is voluntarily celibate. There's probably some female incels out there because they're just way too jacked up for guys to get into bed with, but 9 times out of 10, 9 women out of 10, there's even women who are like 4s out of 10s, 3s out of 10, these women are having sex. Sorry. Ugly women are having sex. It is just the way it is. So I don't believe this shit. I don't buy into this narrative. I can see through this. I can see through the narrative, right? To me, it's obvious, and I know to a lot of other guys it's obvious too. But I just, you know, sometimes I gotta sit down and talk about things because anyway, I sometimes I wish more people viewed my channel, and this is one of the topics that I wish more people would talk about out there, because this is the truth. This is what's really going on. She's not broken. She was not hurt by all those men, and if she was hurt by any of those men, she chose that guy and she was attracted to his toxicity. Trust that. And yes, there are real female victims out there, and it sucks for you guys, for those real female victims, because the ones, the liars, the manipulators, the narcissists, the toxic drama queens, the oh, I'm a diva type woman, these women are ruining it for the women who are actually decent, the very few who are actually decent. Unfortunately, I have to say that, but it's the truth. You know, some women out there do get hurt by men, and there are assholes out there, there are jerks out there, but I don't believe this narrative. I don't believe that, you know, because it's like every other woman. They're always, you know, it's like, oh, I'm broken. It's like, no, you're not broken. Or if you are broken, you did it to yourself. You are the one who created your own misery because no one raised you right. You didn't have morals. And instead of owning it, that's what I hate too. Instead of just owning it, like, yep, I messed up. I was a slut. Got hurt. Don't want to be like that anymore. Want to move on. I guess to some extent I respect that more. But even still, it's like, you made your bed, man. I mean, people can repent. People can change. Like, I'm for people, like, you know, confessing and, oh, I'm broken, you know, I made mistakes, and like turning to God and stuff. Like, that's the way it should be. But instead of just doing that, they lie. Instead of just being like, you know what, but even still, and it's, you know, they probably would realize that, yeah, you know, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. But at least I would respect it more. You know, at least I would be like, all right, well, at least you admit it. At least you can admit you were a skank. At least you can admit that it's not cool to be a tramp, that it's not moral, it's not good for you or your kids or your future husband who would like somebody who's not a used up piece of trash, you know, you like a paper towel that everybody's wiped their junk on. And it's like, it's gross, man. If they could admit that, I'd be like, all right, well, you know, at least you admit that. But they don't admit it. The reason why they don't admit it is because they know it lowers their marriage market value. That's the real reason. And so for her to be like, oh, woo woo woo, I'm tired, and I'm I've seen these memes where the the girl's like, I've been through so much. I just wish I had a boyfriend who just sat down and said, I understand you've been through so much. And it's just like, what have you been through? You have had privilege uncanny privilege. You got free drinks, you got free dinner, guys take you on dates whenever you want, free dick whenever you want it, free unlimited sex, guys will marry you whenever you want. It boggles me that they still complain. It boggles me. It's just like, at this point it's just a power move. At this point it's like it's just sympathy. You have to like wake up and be like, all right, you're not fooling me anymore. Like you're not broken, you're not hurt. You're doing it for sympathy points. You're doing it for simp bucks. You want those simp thirst traps. You want guys to come out and say, "Oh, I'm sorry for you. You're so pretty. You can do better. Woo woo woo. You can." I just did a woo 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 in a girly voice. That's funny. But you know, these little simps come out of the woodwork to like, oh, you're valid and you matter. And it's like, would you do that for like a murderer who just murdered like 50 people? Like, oh, you're you know, and like he says, I'm broken. Like, it's like, no, they'd be like, throw him away. It's like, you know, who's having sympathy for these tramps? And it's the simps. It's the weak men. It's the beta males who don't realize that bad quality women means bad quality children. Bad quality women means bad quality families. Bad quality women means bad quality marriages. Guys are out here looking to marry somebody, and what do we have to marry? This used up Raggedy Ann doll? Come on, bro. That's, you know, that's not gonna happen. Like, at least not with me, man. I'm not marrying some used up thought. I hope not, man. I hope I don't have that weakness. I hope. Anyway, it's never something. You know, I've had opportunities, you know, to have kids, to get into a really long-term relationship, probably get married. I had girls wanting me to meet their parents and stuff, and it's just like, at the end of the day, no, because I slept with you on the first date. No, because you're just this toxic, modern, leftist, you know, privileged woman who thinks that she's oppressed. And it's like, where's the intelligence in that? How would I be too because if you're not intelligent enough to realize that you're not oppressed, I probably don't want to date you. If you're not intelligent enough to realize and to self-actualize that you got it very good in life, then I'm, you know, like, you're probably not very intelligent. The women that I'm actually like attracted to now are the women who are like, they understand, like they get it, like they get the red pill. I'm like, dang, you know, that there's a woman with the head on her shoulders. She understands the bullshit of this modern world, this just unrighteous, immoral world that we live in. If there's a woman out there who understands that and she's like, nah, I'm stepping away, I'm gonna be different, I want to be a mom, I want to be a good woman, I don't want to just be some tramp, that's attractive to me, man. That's attractive to me, you know. But they can't even realize that. They can't even look themselves in the mirror and be like, yeah, this I'm not right. Like, there's no moral compass, there's no and it's just this, God, man, if you turn on like porn or something and you look and you're just like, what are these women doing? They're just supposed to be mothers. And I'm not gonna lie, like, women are beautiful. Like, you look at their bodies and you're like, wow, that's amazing. And you're like, God, I wish I could have sex with all these girls. Like, you, like, there's something within you as a man that's like, that is like, dang, I just want to, you know, like your natural side, not natural side, but your survival instinct kick. You're just like, oh, I just want to, you know. But then you realize these are actors, and they're as attractive as they are because this is their job. And like, not only that, they just are being paid to do lewd stuff, and it's like, it's sexy, but at the same time you're like, like, there's something that's wrong about it, you know. And it's like, it doesn't help you at the end of the day to become part of that world, it doesn't help you, as it doesn't help your health, it doesn't help your mental health, it doesn't help you as a human being. You know, it's just it's temporary. You know, come and goes. That type of pleasure just is temporal. It's very quick. Like, you know, oh cool, we had sex, and it's like, and you know, and then you think about it and you're like, dang man, I worked really hard to become like in really good shape or dress really cool. You know, I learned how to like talk better. I took these courses on how to pick up women, and I'm spending like all these hours, like, you know, like almost like you're going through a college course of figuring out and you know, learning how to be more attractive as a man, and going out there and talking to women. How do you set up a date, and how do you do this, how do you do that, right? And then at the end of the day, she's what, you know, gonna have sex with you, you have sex, and then she's not a good woman. And then you're like, wow, I spent all this time to have sex, and I got it, but yet she's not a good woman. And then sex is temporary. And then like the bigger mistake that you make too is if you get into a relationship with one of these women, right? So not only do you have sex, like now you're in a relationship with a woman who's not a quality woman, and you're like, dang, I spent all this time, you know, creating a persona around myself to make myself more attractive, when in reality I could have just went out and tried to find the right one for me. And it's all so I can have sex, and like really it's so saturated, that the sexual market is so saturated and so hard to get into, that unless you're like just born Chad, like you don't even really have much of a chance. So the type of woman that you can get is like some you know, as an average guy, you know, say you went through all these programs and dressed better and got in better shape, that the type of woman that an average guy can get is like a 3 out of 10, like a 3 or 4 out of a 10, and the personality is terrible. Like, you know, it'd be one thing if like, oh, I found a diamond in the rough and she's got this great personality. It's like, how often do you meet women with great personalities? Like, not very often, right? Like, they don't make that's not a requirement for guys. It should be, but it's not, unfortunately. You know, it's like, oh, you got tits and ass, let's go. You know, that's the only requirement, which sucks. But you know, you'd spend all this time and you hook up with some woman and the sex is good, but then like you have a bad relationship and you're just like, man, what a waste of like years of my life, when I wish I could have just found somebody who was like super awesome and I loved them, and you know what I mean? And so it's just like just this one big pile of fucking hellfire, man. One big pile of shit. You know, and that's what our society's coming to, and God's gonna come back and judge it, man. But anyway, man, I'm gonna start talking in circles here in a minute, but so I'm gonna end this. But you really gotta pick better, man, as a man, and don't settle. But also, you know, learn to read and learn to read womanese and see through the BS, man. Really. You know, this is definitely womanese right here. This is definitely womanese 101. You know, it's definitely a learning meme right here when they talk about, you know, boyfriends loving their, and they'll dictate to us too, which is always funny in these memes. They're actually, if you actually really look at these memes on like a timeline, or like put them all together, like the theme that you can gather from all these memes, if you put them together, this type of meme where it's talking about relationships, what you can really gather is they're dictating to us instructions. This is what's actually the underlying theme beneath these memes, is they're dictating to us instructions on how to treat them. That's essentially what they're doing, and that's tyrannical. And the reason why it's tyrannical is because, and there was another meme that I read earlier today, which proves my point that it's tyrannical, because within the meme, the woman said something, oh damn it, I forgot what she said. She said something like, I'll try to paraphrase, but she said, I can't remember exactly, but she said, what did she say? She said, oh, something about, I was dating this guy, and then all of a sudden after we broke up, I saw all these red flags or something. Oh, I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry, guys. Apologize on that. But essentially, she was saying like he didn't meet my standards anyways or something, and it's like what you realize after a while is you start piecing these memes together, and you're like, oh, this is tyranny. They're dictating to us how they want to be treated, and if we don't treat them that way, then we're like lepers or something. Then we're incels, and they don't give us sex, and like they hold sex away from us, or they hold attention, or whatever it is. Like, but if you're the guy who like treats them the way they want to be treated, then oh, you're this hero, or like you're one of us, or like, you know, they reward you. And this is the incentive that these white knight guys have, is they have this incentive to, oh, she's talking to me now, of course I'm going to agree with everything she says, and I'm going to fight the guy. And it's like, you know, I'm going to fight any opposition to anything she says, and any guy questioning her, I'm going to attack. And it's like, dang, man, you really bought into all that. You really went to the other side. You really sold your soul for pussy. You got no backbone. You can't tell a woman no. You can't tell her when she's wrong. They have this, like, there's really this narrative around these women that, like, they're goddesses, that, like, oh, we can do no wrong. And so they're dictating to us in these memes how we should treat them. And they're totally lying about the real reality of who they are and their real life. If you really knew how these women really were, would you really want to date them? I know I wouldn't. I don't care how beautiful she is and how hot she is. Like, I like, yeah, my dick is like, yeah, do it, right? That's what my dick is saying. But my heart and my mind is like, hell no. This girl's had a boyfriend every day of her life for the last 10 years because anytime she walks outside, guys are hitting on her. Like, and she wants me to come in and compete for that spot? I read another meme which was hilarious that said, what did it say? It said, women want men to compete for a job that they're for a spot that they're paying for, or something like that. Oh no, I think it said, women want men to beg. Women want men to beg them for a date that the man is paying for. So true. They want us to be subservient to them. Like, oh yes, madam, you'll give me a crumpet of pussy if I say everything right and suck up to you, and totally just, you know, walk on eggshells when I'm around you and worship the ground that you walk on. Who would want to be in a relationship with a woman like that? That's what I want to know. Like, but there are guys who do it, and I'm just like, it really is cuckold. You're cuckolding, like, not literal cuckolding. You're not. I mean, actually, many of these women are forcing their husbands to be in a cuckold situation where they sleep with other men. That literally is happening. But also, it's a psychological cuck, right? You're being psychologically cucked by this woman who has successfully leveraged the power of sex to get you to do everything she ever wants, to get you to be her knight in shining armor, whatever that means, you know, pay for everything, be romantic, all this stuff within this little, not who you really are, but within this little confine, within these little confines of a, you know, standard that she's dictated, that, you know, this is how you should treat me. So she wants you to be uber hero within the confines of also being a simp. She wants you to be a simp, but also, and it's insane. And it's like, I think they're losing their minds. Actually, I think a lot of these women out here are literally mentally ill, and they're just functioning because you can be mentally ill and function, you know, like they're just out here functioning and not even understanding that they're mentally ill. Like, to do something like that, to set up a scenario to spend your time fabricating a lifestyle or fabricating your past so that you can look better to a potential husband. But not only that, to like mentally and psychologically subjugate through social media, through social avenues, and culture, literally influencing culture. That's how far you. That sounds kind of psychotic. That sounds sociopathic. To take it to that level, if you think about it, they're literally taking it to that level where they are dictating to us how they want to be treated, tyrannically dictating to us how they want us to treat them. Not even how they want, but what is acceptable treatment, right? And if a guy doesn't jump through those hoops, then he's no good. Woo woo woo. I mean, that kind of narrows down your options, really. You're actually shooting yourself in the foot if you, yeah, maybe it's cosmic karma. It's like, maybe you deserve that simp. Maybe you really did. Maybe you deserve that weak ass guy who's going to jump through all your hoops and look past all your baggage. And then they're in these happy little safe controlled marriages, or these, I shouldn't say happy, these safe controlled little marriages that actually end up being unhappy, and they end up being unfulfilling for the woman, because it turns out that it's not attractive for a guy to be a yes man. They just wanted to be controllers. They just wanted to be these they wanted to control the board. That's really what it is. It's like bullying. It's like they're bullying men in dating. It really is. It's like they're bullying. It's like they're bullying men to date them. In order to date them, you got to get bullied by them. Like what? That's not even 50-50. That's not even a 50-50 type relationship. You just run the show subconsciously or psychologically or emotionally or however. Whatever leverage these women have over men, which is guaranteed, always boils down to sex, unfortunately. That leverage is powerful enough to literally bully these men into being subjugates of her. That's what it is. That's what so much of modern dating really is and this is why. This is how they do it right here. Like, they're threatening us. Oh no, don't leave us alone. Like, I think toxic women should leave good men alone. Toxic women should leave good men alone. Good men deserve good women. Quality men deserve quality women. On the inside and the outside. Not just financial, not just good looks, not just success, popularity, all these materialistic, transient things that can come and go. But on the inside, if you're a good person on the inside, you deserve to be with a good person on the inside. Not some toxic, tyrannical narcissist who wants to control the relationship. You really want that, guys? Think about it. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. I appreciate you guys listening. I'm always just for education. This is one of the things that always just boggled me. It's like, how come guys don't see through this? But anyway, guys, always appreciate your support. The guys who do listen to me, I know this is not a big channel, but I appreciate you guys listening, and maybe getting a little more info, getting a little more, maybe I can turn on some light bulbs. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but maybe I'm able to, spark some convo and spark some thoughts. I don't know why guys aren't talking about this, because I look at this shit and I'm just like, I can see right through this. It's a whole system, man. They got it systematized, and they got us by the balls. Unfortunately, like literally, our balls are the reason we're even in this problem. Because if we weren't such simps for sex, we might have some power. But they're just, it's terrible. It really is. It's terrible. It's tyrannical. It's almost like terrorism in a way. It's like psychological terrorism. Like, you can't date me unless you, and it's like, and then guys are like, oh, I got to get better. I got to be more of this. I got to be more. And it's like, no, dude, get your own standards. Be yourself. And what I mean by get your own standards is have your own standards for yourself and women. Have standards for yourself and women. Like, the standards that you have for yourself shouldn't be the same standards that you have for women. I mean, some might, cross over, but, some might mix. But what I mean by, having standards for yourself is like, have your own self-esteem. Don't let the way some toxic little slut thinks about you affect how you think about you. You got to love yourself, and you got to have your own standards for yourself, and you got to live up to those standards. And really, those type of standards that you need to have should be standards based on the truth, should be standards based on humanity, should be standards based on righteousness, morality, doing the right thing. All these things really matter when it comes down to it, because if you look outside, we got a whole culture, we got a whole world that's immoral. We got a whole culture of people who are, I'm not saying every single person, but a large majority of these people are not doing righteous stuff. Marriage is dwindling. Marriage percentages have dropped drastically. Things are getting worse, man. It's getting more immoral out there. So if you keep your own standards for yourself, and it's based on righteousness, the truth, doing good, godliness, however you want to, whatever religious box you want to put that in, if that, you need to have somebody who matches you, not some jacked up liar, some narcissist. I mean, what's really tragic about all this is so many guys really just want a family. They just want someone to love. They just want a cute girlfriend who's nice, who's pure, who loves them, who's loyal. But they can't get that. Why? I don't know. Female nature's messed up. Why? I don't know. Hypergamy. Why? I don't know. Women like to go out and jump on a bunch of sausage, and they don't want to be judged for it. All right, well, I want to go out and do this or that, but there's consequences to life, and guys don't want a woman who's been around. That's just a fact. So no matter how much they try to dictate to us and manipulate us and like change the goalposts, and it's like, that's a quality guy is going to have that in his heart. No, I don't want some used up skank. So, and if that means you got to be single until the quality right woman comes along, so be it. But it's better than settling for some nasty, overweight, toxic, liberal, pink-haired woman. Or, I mean, even if it's not that bad, it's just like the average woman out here, if she's not even liberal, she's still out sleeping around. Tinder exists, right? So, where's our where's our female knight in shining armor? Where's our romantic partner who comes and sweeps us off our feet? She isn't out there. She doesn't exist because she's getting banged by Chad. She's getting a train ran on her in the bathroom of the club. Come on, man. Guys aren't stupid. We know. But anyway, starting to ramble, so I'm gonna leave it there. Appreciate you guys listening. Hope y'all stay good. Hope y'all have a great day. Hope y'all stay blessed. It's been Jay Lee with Northwest Podcast. Peace.